Yo, what's up, family? Before we start the video, please give a like, subscribe, and share it in there once you can. Just get out there a little bit more. With that being said, let's get right into the video. The Boston Celtics beat the Los Angeles Clippers in an overtime fight the game before last, and Jaden Springer was an unsung hero who changed the tide of the game, and I wanted to take a look, so let's get into the film. Alright, how y'all doing? I hope y'all doing good. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not, make sure you take your shoes off before you come in the house. And Jaden Springer in this game had 8 points, 4 steals, and 2 rebounds. Should have had way more rebounds than he had, but he just brings a level of pressure. And there was a video where I think it was the one against the Toronto Raptors where I did like the Celtics like defensive miscues and stuff like that. I was saying that the Celtics lack pressure on the offensive side of the ball. That they weren't attacking a lot, they weren't getting the drive and kick threes, they weren't putting pressure on the defense to force them to get in rotations. And on the defensive side, pressure is just pressure. Like they weren't making people feel uncomfortable. Jaden Springer brings a certain level of defensive pressure, a certain level of defensive intensity off the ball and especially on the ball. He gets up into guys. They don't feel comfortable. So here we're going to start. KBJ had 24 points before Jaden Springer checked in. When Jaden Springer checked in, he was the primary guy on KBJ. The rest of the game, he scored 2 points. And of course, those 2 points were not on Jaden Springer. Off the ball, he is a nuisance, right? He is a guy that has special defensive traits, sliding his feet on the ball. So we started this possession with him on KBJ. He knows that KBJ wants to get the ball. He knows that they want KBJ to have the ball because he's really high in this game. And his ball screen navigations, he does not want to be screened. I see so many, especially in that Toronto game, it was so many people who wanted to get screened, not wanted to get screened, but they didn't fight through a screen, and the switching and the communication was also off. So when that happens, you not fighting through a screen or doing your best to stay on your man, it just heightens how bad it is. But Jaden Springer does not want to be screened. His ball screen navigation is excellent. He can go through 2 screens and still be at the hip of a guy. And there came to a point where KBJ just gave the ball up on certain possessions because of the pressure from Jaden Springer. And just some quick numbers, the Celtics had a 14.5 net rating in Jaden Springer's 20 minutes. The Celtics had an 80.5 defensive rating with him on the floor. As far as advanced stats go, I know he hasn't played much, but he's in the 100 percentile in pickpocket rating, as you see right there. The 98 percentile in steals per 75 possessions, 97 percentile in deflections per 75 possessions, and then 93rd percentile in ball screen navigation. So everything on ball defense mostly Jaden Springer does at an elite level. And coming out of Tennessee, the thing that you've seen the most with Jaden Springer was obviously the athleticism. Like he was an elite athlete. Now, what I saw at Tennessee was that it was more of a vertical athleticism and more of a jumping athleticism. He still has that, but the lateral quickness, and he's like a bowling ball type player right here against Derrick Jones Jr. And Derrick Jones Jr. had no chance. The ball was gone before he even turned around. Jaden Springer gets it still, gets it to the right guy. He gets it back and gets fouled. All right, so here he is against Bones Highland. Again, the amount of pressure that he brings, the Celtics need. Again, the ball screen navigation, not a great screen, but going through 2 screens, not a turn at all. He makes him get the ball up. He gets the ball back. And again, at half court, we're not making anybody feel comfortable. Nobody on the Celtics right now, probably except for Pritchard, right? He picks up 94 feet sometimes it happens. This game, Jaden Springer, like, look at him, bro. He's under Bones Highland. He's under him the entire time. Bones Highland has a tough time trying to get the ball out to the corner. And again, he had 4 steals in this game, but the broadcast for some reason just wanted to look at Drew Holiday. That's okay, but here's the 1 steal before the 4th quarter. All right, more defense on KBJ. There he is right here. KBJ gets a run and start. He catches the ball. Bam, stop. Went like the Celtics haven't done this in so long. They don't put pressure on people in this stretch of 16 games where they've gone 8-8. They have not put pressure on people on both sides of the floor. He catches the ball, Jaden Springer's on him. Does a nice job using both of his hands on the defense side of the ball, right? This hand is on KPJ legally, his hip. Second hand, fighting through the screen. Again, ball screen navigation, a really good ball screen navigator. After the screen, he stays hip to hip. Nice job by Luke Cornett just being there. But he stays hip to hip. And even on his hesitation right there that KBJ does, he technically gets Springer. But Springer's just such a good athlete after the jump. Still right in front of him. And he makes him pass the ball. And he also did some little things in this game. Of course, the on-ball defense is a big thing. Of course, we're getting to the threes he hit, but just the instinctive defensive plays that he makes and the way that he goes all out when he does these things. All right, so we have a pick and roll between Bones Highland and Derrick Jones Jr. Derrick Jones Jr. was really good in the first quarter, had a good overall game, but we know that in these pick and roll situations, Luke Cornett is going to be a guy that's playing drop coverage. Bones Highland is a really capable scorer. And watch how Jaden Springer, and he could have took advantage of Luke. Like, he could have just shot his mid-range. He could have did a hesitation, got to the rim. But again, watch how Jaden Springer stops this, right? He digs and completely stops Bones Highland in his tracks, makes him back up. Now, this ended in a foul, but Jaden Springer 100% has something to do with Bones Highland backing up. And he plays really good anticipatory defense. We've seen this a couple times where it's like he knows a crossover is coming, and like he studies. Like, he has to be somebody that really studies the game, or the shit could just be natural. I don't know. Like, he's a guy that really knows offensive cues. Like, he really knows when this happens, this is gonna follow. And we saw this on a multiple of his steals where he's just picking guys' pockets, and he knows that when KBJ does that stutter step hezzy right there, he knows that he's going to that. I don't even know how many times he's played KBJ, but for some reason in this game, it looked like he knew that, and he gets the pickpocket there. And I've said this specific thing numerous times on the channel. I forgot what videos I said it in, but something that still reigns true to me is one of the most underrated things, well, the most underrated thing you can do as a defender. And this is something that's not going to show up on a stat sheet, so people actually have to watch the games to see you doing this. The most underrated thing as a defender is when you make a guy not be able to shoot the ball. They're dribbling, they're trying to make something happen, and your defense is so good that they cannot even get a shot up. And especially when it's a guy that is a main scorer or a guy that is really being hot in the game. With all the injuries that the Clippers had, KBJ was their main scorer. He had 24 before Jaden Springer checked in. So any possession at this point in this game where you are making KBJ not only not shoot, but give the ball up because your defense is so good. Again, turning guys, he's at half court. Jaden Springer's in his stands looking to get in his chest at half court. Right there, makes him turn one time. He almost loses the ball right there, and he just gives the ball up. And then compare and contrast, right? I don't mean to harp on Jalen, but in this stretch, he has been bad defensively with the defensive laps and stuff. We just saw Jaden for 6 seconds play phenomenal defense, even at half court, just being up in a guy's chest. And then Jaylen Brown is, again, no pressure, right? So he just brought a different intensity and a different pressure level on the defensive side of the ball in this game. And on the offensive side of the ball, we know Jaden Springer is a guy that's not going to give you too much, especially shoot-wise, but he stepped up in this game and hit 2 huge threes. This was after he airballed. So the confidence from Joe Mazzulla keeping him in the game and knowing that he can possibly be effective. Jaden Springer just airballed the shot before this, knocks this one down, and then on the defense side of the ball, you know what he's going to do. He navigates 2 screens, one by Terrence Mann, then one by Derrick Jones Jr. Gets bump on both of them, right? KBJ tries to crab him. Watch how he hops in front of him. Hops right in front of him, gets back on the side. Now he's really in front of him. KBJ has to get the ball up. He get it right back, and it's just more the same. And then he finally gets him off him. He gets off him. The pressure is just not the same. Of course, I'm not expecting the same on-ball pressure by Luke Kornet, but I'm just singling out how demonstrative, his play was in this game. You can just see it. Like, KBJ on a certain, he doesn't want Jaden Springer on him. He's giving the ball up. You saw the last play. He just gave the ball up with 16 seconds left. He's just like, you know what, I'm not doing this, man. And then here, Luke finally gets a switch on him, and he's like, oh, I can finally shoot now. But Jaden Springer, again, right here, good defense and a rebound. All right, sure, another good defensive possession on KBJ. Staying with him on the drive, staying on his hip, get some help from his teammates with some contests, but good athletic play by Springer. And again, as soon as the clip starts, half court in KBJ's chest, not giving him any room. Right there, turns him one time, again, ball screen navigation, active hands, got one hand on KBJ's hip just to make sure he stays beside him legally, active hand with the right hand, and again, just staying with him. He has to do a jump pass. Jaden Springer's all over it, and he ends up with another rebound. And speaking of the rebounding, Springer should have had at least 5 in this game. He got his hands on about 7 of them, and we, of course, need him to convert these into opportunities for us. But the fact that he takes the corner crashes as serious as Joe Mazzulla does shows you that he's here trying to do what the Celtics view as winning basketball. And of course, the huge shot to put them up 5, the Xavier Tillman game 3, the final shot right there from a guy you don't expect it, getting the 3 to go. And as I'm recording this, he just dropped 10 points against the Lakers in garbage time, and the only thing that you're looking to get from Jaden Springer is the offense. I'm sorry, let me rephrase it. The only thing you're looking for Jaden Springer to improve on is the offense side of the ball, especially his shooting, right? He's not going to be so much of an on-ball guard. He can pass, he can dribble. I'm not really worried about that from a Celtics standpoint, right? What he needs to get better at is shooting threes. He needs to be on that Grant Williams program. When Grant Williams was not a good shooter, he lost 15 pounds and he shot 1,000 threes per day. We need Jaden Springer on that. If he can confidently take these shots, again, he had 10 points against the Lakers on good efficiency, I believe 4 or 5, and he's just getting more confident. If he's able to do this, especially in clutch situations, if he's able to do this, he can do it in a rotation in regular games, and he could really get some minutes. But that is the video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe, and share it in everyone that you can. Just view out there a little bit more. And I will see you guys next video. This is Nick. Peace.